I'm a concerned father of a 17-year-old daughter seeking advice. Names have been changed to maintain some confidentiality. Some background. My wife passed away when my daughter was very young. I was still in college at the time, but with the help of my parents, I managed to finish both college and graduate school while raising her. I've dated a few times since losing my wife, but haven't been able to maintain a serious relationship. Between my career and the responsibilities of raising a child on my own, it just never worked out. My relationship with my daughter Sarah has always been very good. She shared my love of the outdoors, and we used to go hiking, kayaking, and camping together quite often. In the last year or so, she's become more interested in school activities and her own social life, so we haven't spent as much time together. I'm completely fine with that. She's growing up and coming into her own, and that's exactly how it should be. Financially, we're very secure. I've been fortunate enough to build a career I genuinely enjoy, and the hours are manageable. Despite that, I've always tried not to spoil Sarah. In exchange for her weekly allowance and gas money, she does chores around the house and helps our elderly neighbor, a 90-year-old woman, with things like taking out the trash and picking up groceries. Sarah is an A student, participates well in school activities, and was a Girl Scout until she was 14. Honestly, I have always been incredibly proud of her. This past Saturday, she was out with her friends to watch a movie. I had a contractor come over to replace a couple of windows while she was gone. She knew about this in advance. In the process of moving some furniture around in her room, I came across a small box hidden behind her drawers. Curiosity got the better of me. After the contractor finished and left, I opened it. Inside was about $3,000 in cash. That is far too much money for a 17-year-old to have tucked away in a box behind her furniture. After finding it, I looked around her room a little more and found some expensive brand-name clothing in her closet that I had never seen her wear before. Things that seemed a bit mature for her age, though that's a separate conversation for another day. Since then, I've gone through my own accounts carefully to check whether she had taken money from me somehow. Nothing is missing. I don't carry much cash anyway, so she couldn't have taken it from me directly. I don't believe she's selling drugs. There was no stash anywhere in her room. As far as I know, she isn't in a relationship, so it isn't a partner's money sitting in her room either. She does not have a part-time job. I opened a savings account for her some time ago with about $1,200 in it, and she's accessed it before for things like a new phone, a camera, and gifts. She gets $50 a week in allowance, which I know sounds like a lot, but we live in an expensive city where even a cheap lunch costs around $9. Any extras she wants, like electronics or bigger purchases, come out of her savings. As for our neighbor, I've always told the woman she doesn't need to pay Sarah anything, since I'm already covering that through her allowance. The clothing, by the way, were genuinely high-end. Gucci, Versace, that kind of thing. When I say mature, I don't mean revealing or inappropriate. They just didn't seem like clothes a teenager would typically want or wear. I haven't spoken to Sarah about any of this yet, but I intend to tonight. I don't want to be confrontational. I want to approach it in a way that makes her feel safe enough to be completely honest with me. I keep hoping she hasn't gotten caught up in something that could jeopardize her future. Maybe I missed some signs somewhere along the way. I'm genuinely worried and I'm not sure how to handle it. Someone suggested I approach it like this. Mention the contractors, explain that I came across the box while moving furniture, say I was concerned about leaving that much cash lying around the house, and ask how she managed to save that much. Not accusatory, just calm and matter of fact. That actually felt right to me. I've always stressed the importance of honesty and open dialogue with her, so I'm hoping she'll feel comfortable being straight with me. The more I thought about it, the calmer I started to feel. Our neighbor is 90 years old, but her mind is still sharp, and it suddenly occurred to me that she might have been slipping Sarah money here and there without my knowledge. I don't know why that hadn't crossed my mind sooner. I decided to talk to her that night and take it from there. I sat Sarah down and explained everything. the contractors, the furniture, finding the box. I told her I was worried because it was a large amount of money and I didn't want anything happening to her savings if someone found it. And then she explained. It turns out our elderly neighbor Anne has been giving Sarah cash for the better part of a year. Anne wanted her to have money set aside for college, and she specifically asked Sarah to keep it secret from me, because she knows I've always refused to accept money from her. Sarah also told me that some of the money was her own. She had been saving up to buy me a birthday present and didn't want to put it in her savings account because she'd have to ask me to access it and it would no longer be a surprise. I genuinely didn't know what to say to that. Later in the conversation, I brought up the expensive clothing. Those turned out to be items passed along from her friend's mother. The friend is very tall and couldn't wear them, so she gave them to Sarah instead. They needed some small alterations, which is why Sarah hadn't worn them yet. I apologized to Sarah for going through her things and explained that, as her father, I was obviously worried about her well-being. I also reassured her that we are financially stable and that I've already set aside enough money for her college expenses. She doesn't need to be saving for that on her own. I asked her to keep a close eye on Anne to make sure the older woman's own finances aren't being affected by how much she's been giving away. I also asked Sarah to write a thank you card to her friend's mother and to include a small gift for her at Christmas. After all of that, I wanted to do something to encourage her savings habit rather than discourage it. So I offered to set up a proper checking account for her. The bank I use offers a junior checking account that I can co-sign, and it automatically converts to her own personal account when she turns 18. She'll get a debit card, and the bank provides an online financial planning guide that she agreed to read before we get started. We're going to the branch together this weekend to set it all up. Sarah handled the whole conversation really well, and toward the end of it, she took the opportunity to tell me something else. She's been in a relationship for a couple of months. Her girlfriend goes to the same school. I've actually met her several times before and always assumed they were just close friends. So that was a surprise. Sarah came out to me that evening. Being a father, I did follow up and verify the clothing story with her friend's mother directly. Everything checked out exactly as Sarah had said. Overall, I'm happy that it turned out to be me dramatically overreacting to something completely innocent. I do feel a little guilty about the minor panic I put myself through. But as a parent, it's remarkable sometimes how quickly your child grows up right in front of you without you fully noticing. Just another part of the process, I suppose. I didn't reduce her allowance. If anything, I encouraged her to keep saving. It's an excellent habit, and I told her so. The one thing still haunting me, if I'm being completely honest, is the birthday present. I have absolutely no idea what she's planning to buy me, and it's going to drive me quietly mad until she hands it over.